Greetings, travelers, and welcome to round 3 of this tournament that I've been putting out videos for. Today, we are beginning with my mage deck going against my opponent's druid. So, based on how I did in round 2, and if you haven't seen that video, you should go watch it. I'm hoping this time, at least I was hoping during when I actually did this tournament, to do a little bit better this round because I wasn't happy with myself after how round 2 ended up. I know there were a lot of mistakes I probably made. Some of the cards I had at the beginning I could have thrown back in and probably had better ones. And then just to be honest, I know some of my decks aren't the best. I'm aware of that. Don't worry, I'm working on improving slowly but surely. So yeah, the goal, at least my goal for this round, was to do a little bit better, so I won't spoil what exactly happens. Obviously this is being recorded in post, so I hope you all enjoy. As per usual, this will be a voiceover recording after the fact, and I'll speed up bits in between just so the videos aren't too long. I hope everyone has enjoyed that format so far. I believe the first video for it has already gone out. So far I haven't received any feedback either way, so I'm just gonna keep doing it this way until some people say something about it, and we'll go from there. So with that, I will be quiet and let the video play, and if something interesting pops up, then I will jump back in, slow the video down, and give everyone my thoughts and opinions. I suppose for one, definitely wanted to get rid of that Iron Deep Trog that was there. Those cards can be a little annoying to deal with, so just want to point out I think I did pretty good in removing that. And Jerry-Bred Carpenter is a very interesting card because it splits a choose one spell, so that could be quite helpful as well. Anyways, I promise, I'll actually be quiet now for at least maybe a minute or something. Who knows? I'll always say I'm gonna be quiet and like 2 seconds later or something to talk about, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, on with the show, I suppose. Although it's been playing this whole time. Oh no! Ah!
Me tusks won't stop shattering.
The Iron Deep Mine is mine!
Okay, I think that was about a minute of silence and just the video playing, right? Sure, close enough. Anyways, I wanted to jump in and say, because I realized I forgot, if you haven't noticed, my opponent and I are both drawing 2 cards each round, and that is because they played a card at the very beginning that made us have to draw 2 cards, which in a way could be good, but in a way could also be bad, in the sense that, as you can see, my hand is quite full right now, so if I keep drawing 2 cards and don't get to play enough, soon I will start burning cards. The same could also happen to them though, so it's a bit of a two-way street with going with that sort of strategy. So I just want to point that out, but obviously it is a good and valid strategy, especially if you're playing a, I don't know if you could get this type of card, but if you're playing a Warlock where you force the enemy to take all the damage you take from like random effects that aren't like direct damage or spells or whatnot. Okay, so I'm looking pretty good right now on my side of the board. I have Agewen the Guardian, 2 Taunt, Scuttlebutt Ghouls, and a Shivering Sorceress, I think is what that one's called. So we're not looking too bad right now. My opponent just played a minion that buffs everything on their side, which is always a good choice to pick. And yet again, they pick a minion that buffs their side. So it looks like we're at a pretty... see, there's Prince Ranithal just got burned. It was looking like we were at a bit of a disadvantage there. However, there we go ahead and Flame Strike and clear their side of the board. And now they are down to just 7 health. I'm so close. But we will see what happens in a few moments.
The Sea Floor be its own treasure.
And just like that, I claim my first victory for this round. So now we move on to game number 2 for this round. And as the little box there said, corralling Murlocs, I decided to go with my Murloc Shaman deck, which may have been a mistake, may not have been, but we see that our opponent has selected their Druid deck yet again. So I do have a little bit of, I guess you could say, advantage since I've played against this deck just literally my last game that I played. So let's go ahead and see how this plays out.
Let us be holly and jolly.
Nature's blessings upon you.
The exit is this way.
What is it?
So as you can see, my opponent just played a card that gave them a passive ability that summons a 2/2 wolf with stealth at the, I believe, end of each of their turns, which is a really good idea, I think. It kind of guarantees, quote unquote, that you'll always have something on the board, and you can't attack it right away, or at least I can't attack it right away. So it seems like they're definitely trying to get some control on the board and try to get a bit more of a minion advantage, I guess would be the right way to put it. Especially right now. They just put out 2 more minions and buffed all the ones that they had, and are just kind of starting to slaughter a couple of the minions I have and then just start hammering away at me. But luckily my Murlocula just got infused. So perhaps I might be able to pull it back around and spin it back onto them.
What is it?
So again, as we can see, they have gotten a pretty good advantage in terms of minions on the board. And yeah, things are not looking good for me at all at this point. They have just basically wiped out nearly everything on my side of the board except for my mana tide totem, which honestly can't do too much. So as a bit of a last-ditch effort, I decide to throw out my Red Gill Razor Claw, I believe that's what that was, and my other Murlocula, and I get pretty, I guess, decently matched in terms of amount of minions on the board, but it just does not seem like it will be enough. Their minions seem to be a bit stronger, and it's looking like this might be loss number 1 for this round. If they will go ahead, see, there we go. -6, -5, and I'm done. Oh well, can't win them all. So, with 1 win and 1 loss currently under my belt for this round, I push forward with my, so you can probably see that little blurred silhouette there, my Paladin deck. And what do you know? They're also playing with a Paladin deck. So this is a Paladin versus Paladin duel to the death, I suppose. My starting cards aren't the worst, but I decide that it'd probably be better to get some things I can play a little earlier on, but of course I got another Muckborn Servant, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I was hoping for something a little different. So I will go ahead and let this Paladin versus Paladin duel of fates play out for a little bit before I interject again. We'll see where we end up by the end.
Job done.
With every step, the light guides you.
Get down!
What'll wet your whistle?
To battle!
Good explorer comes prepared.
Now at this point you may be wondering, why aren't you attacking? They're right there, they don't have any taunt minions. I am not attacking because I don't want them to have the, I believe it's the Righteous Defender secret that I played earlier. I don't want them to have one of those up because my Muckborn Servant only has 4 health, and if I were to attack with that, that deals 2 damage, and then their minion would be able to deal 2 damage, and then I wouldn't have a taunt minion anymore. So I thought a little bit ahead and decided to hold off on attacking.
Let's get him! Yes, right away.
Job's done.
Wondrous.
By the holy light!
The light dims, but we fight. The light dims, but we fight.
To battle! My compliments!
The battle! The battle! The battle!
There she is, right away.
The battle!
So now, as we can see here, they have countered my buffing and somewhat stacking my side of the board with two pretty decent taunt minions themselves. Well, I shouldn't say pretty decent, very decent, extremely decent taunt minions themselves. And so at this point, I'm a little indecisive. I'm not 100% sure what the best plan of attack is. So I kind of decide, okay, well, if they'll play some taunt minions, then I'll go ahead and play some back myself. That way, kind of forces their hand a bit as well. But of course, the issue sometimes of playing taunt minions against taunt minions is that sometimes nobody wants to attack.
Reporting for duty.
We're going on a dangerous voyage. You in?
True strength comes from within.
Reporting for duty.
Yes, right away.
Job done. May the light grant you peace.
True strength comes from within. Do you like to play with fire?
Well, they have played some really good minions so far, and they have a pretty stacked side of the board. But I decided, you know what? How about we just try and deal with all of that in one fell swoop? I throw out Brasswing, knock down Ambassador Phelan, that's right, yeah, a few pegs, and just wipe all their minions with Brasswing's passive ability while also healing myself. I'm pretty proud of that comeback that I just made. But they put out a minion with the venomous status or poison status or whatever status it is. And then they changed everyone's health to 1. Which, that was a very clever counter to what I basically just did. And after buffing their venomous Scorpid, they're sitting pretty well right now. I have to end up sacrificing one of my minions just so I can keep Brasswing on the board for a little bit longer. Hoping that maybe, if I can keep Brasswing up, be able to knock their health down a couple pegs over the next few turns.
Initializing descent.
Really?
You'll take
heavy.
a fine first mate.
My blade seeks vengeance.
So at this point, having just played that Azure Drake and again wiping their side of the board, and dealing a pretty hefty chunk of damage right there, -3, -3, and -6, all to their hero, they have 7 health left, and I am still at a full 30 health, so I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I think I got this. But then they change everyone's health to 1 on my side of the board, and put out this colossal minion, which deals 1 damage to all minions whenever I believe it's another mech attacks, and what would you know, but both of its arms are considered mechs. So, in order to try and counteract this, I decide to go ahead and change its health and attack to 1, and I believe that gives these stats to a minion in my hand. And then, I met with indecision again. Personally, looking back on this, I would have consecrated, but it seems like I might be doing that anyway, perhaps? Hopefully. I was gonna say, looking back on it, consecration should have been what I did first. No, I don't consecrate. I think that was a very key mistake there, not consecrating. I feel like that might not have been the best move there to make on my part.
Reporting for duty.
Job done.
Our hardships only strengthen our resilience. Initializing descent.
My compliments!
Reinforcements incoming! Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
For the Alliance and my family.
Keep them coming! Put your faith in the light. To battle! To the front lines! Reporting for duty. To battle!
You can really hold your own.
It's amazing just how quickly these games can turn around on you, and as the old phrase goes, hindsight is 20/20. I should have consecrated back that turn. I feel like I could have possibly pulled a win out of this one if I did that, but sadly, I don't know what I was thinking, but it wasn't the right move. And now, on to the next game for round 3. I decided I'm going to go with my Paladin again because I just was not satisfied with that loss, and I think I might have even realized soon after I lost my mistakes. So I was like, you know what? I can do better. I can bring this back around. So here we go.
Need a bit more spice over here.
Time for the finishing touch. Darkest greetings to you.
Well met.
Need a bit more spice over here. Too spicy. I'm not too young to fight.
Was that intentional?
Reinforcements incoming! Reporting for duty.
Too spicy.
So it seems to me at this point that they are running a, I don't know if we could say slightly modified version of the Embrace the Pain deck, or at least incorporating the Anima Extractor into it and other minions with abilities that boost minions by damaging them. So I know that deck is a pretty formidable one, so while I may have a little bit of an advantage in terms of the amount of health that my hero has versus theirs, it's a little bit concerning because I know that warriors with this playstyle can be really difficult to beat.
To battle! Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. To the front lines!
I won't go down without a fight.
And just like that, the tides have turned. While again, I still have more health than they do, it is clear that this deck is, as with their other Druid deck, extremely well built. And things are looking a little bit scary, especially with that one minion's Frenzy ability having, with it being able to deal 1 damage to all minions, as that would hit the Anima Extractor and buff the minions in their hands. So, and now even Crazed Wretch too, if that gets activated, it'll be able to charge and hit me right away. It just seems like, yep, they're going to be activating that right about now. Yeah. This is not looking good for me.
I wonder.
Reporting for duty.
Time for the finishing touch. Let the pain speak to me.
Looks like I'm here just in time.
Reporting for duty. To battle!
The iron is mine. Is mine.
So I think we can kind of see where this game is starting to head for me. So I don't think it'll be too much of a surprise that I say that Yeah, this game was definitely not my best. I think I did the best with what I had, but their warrior deck that they have here, it just seems to be really formidable. So, as a bit of a last-ditch effort, I put up Tyrion Forward Ring here in hopes that maybe he'll be able to draw some of the damage away from me, but it's basically all for naught. You can see with this character they just put out, they'll be able to hit me, and we'll hit Tyrion, and then hit me. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Please feel free to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you are new. And feel free to turn on notifications as well if you'd like to be notified when I post a new video. With that, I thank you for your time, I thank you for your attention, and I will see you in the next video.